Hello again, my friends. This is still a boy and his dog, and welcome to Hammer Thoughts, where we talk about all things Hammer. And I've got another lovely, beautiful 4K limited Hammer film box set for you to review today. So, in today's review, we will be looking at the latest release, Spaceways. So this is starring Howard Duff as Chief Engineer Stephen Mitchell, the absolutely gorgeous Hungarian star Eva Bartok, the always phenomenal Alan Wheatley as a bullish intelligence operative, and oh my Mila, it's bloody Medwin. But more on that in a bit. So a little on the story first, and this is taken from the back of the book. Bunny is Stephen Mitchell, chief engineer on the world's first space station, has the bad luck to be married to a gold-digging shrew. When an unmanned rocket fails to re-enter at the same time as his wife and fellow scientist goes missing, Stephen is accused of killing them both and hiding their bodies in the orbiting spacecraft. Bunny is. So going into the film, and see the art for it, you would be forgiven for thinking this would be a more spacey adventure, but it isn't. Yes, they do go into space, but it's more for the background of the story. I can see how people would be disappointed going in thinking they were getting a sci-fi tale, but what we are actually getting is a more character-focused piece. We've got adultery, murder, and Cold War spying going down. I mean, there is action, and the end does make it feel like it was originally slightly different, and they changed the last few minutes at the last second. It's based on a book and BBC radio play, and that does have a different ending, so one imagines it probably went more along those lines, but I won't ruin that here. Now, the biggest surprise to me has to be Michael Medwin. Now, Medwin popped up in a movie in the very first year of Hammer, and he and the movie did not leave a great impression on me. But you'll hear more about that when we begin the epic A Year in Hammer series, where we will go back to year one and spend an episode on each year that Hammer produced movies and series up to the most recent release, which today is the Eddie Izzard-driven Dr. Jekyll. Medwin has become a bit of a joke. He, on the most part, appears in Hammer's comedy output, and I have a lot of opinions on the comedy output, which we will talk about more as the films pop up in the timeline and on the release of the comedy box set later in the year. But I loved his character here. He was a kind, thoughtful, honourable dude here. No complaints. I was really surprised. Bless you, Medwin. Now, the queen of the film is, of course, Eva Bartok. And BTW, she has led a really interesting life. A worthy rabbit hole to go down and find out. But the star of the film is easily Alan Wheatley as the intelligence operative. Similar to how he was in Stolen Face, if I'm honest, he just steals every scene. Other things to talk about, the great inserted stock footage, and most importantly the beautiful matte paintings going on in here, used to make the site where they work look huge and impressive, and also of the fantastically shaped rocket itself. They merged perfectly into the film, which of course helps because it's black and white, but they work an absolute treat here and really sell the world we're living in this film. Okay, now let's take a look at the box set itself. I mean, just look at this artwork. I think this is one of the most beautiful sets we've had. Look at the colour. I love the blue and the yellow. Obviously, the writing, that's the same as it is in the opening. And there's that cool rocket. I was telling you it was a gorgeous design, wasn't it? And there's old Alan Wheatley on the left there. He's amazing. Now, you can see why people be confused about this film. Like, look at that. Who rules the space islands in the sky rules the world. And we've got a space station there, what we never see. We never see that space station, I've got to be honest. But isn't it beautiful art? I love it. Such a gorgeous set. Right, let's have a look at it inside. I've got to open the flippy. Always got to have a look at the flippy. And then we have Duff on the right there. But here we are, Eva Bartok. She's gorgeous. I love her hair in this. It's very kind of 60s future sci-fi, if that makes sense. But that's lovely, isn't it? And there are the two discs. On the left is the UHD, the 4K, and on the right the Blu-ray. And of course they have the same extras on both. So we've got the UK theatrical version, the US theatrical version. We've got two brand new commentaries recorded in 2025. The UK theatrical has a commentary with Sarah Morgan and Heidi Honeycomb, and the US theatrical has a commentary featuring David Flint. Bartok and Duff docu speaking about the two main actors, and it's very interesting. The two nations divided by a common genre. Discussion piece on the differences between UK and US sci-fi of the time. Again, very interesting. Sidebar Spaceways. Fantastic hour-long discussion piece in the style of a podcast. Man of Mystery, a great piece discussing the life and work of the wonderful Alan Wheatley. And there's UK Censor Card, Mute teaser trailer, a UK trailer, and an image gallery to round out the special features on the disc. And here we go, we get these little flippy things. I like this, which shows you the original posters you could have for it. But you could see how people were confused. Even more so when you see a bit of art in a minute. Look at the back there, that was a bit sexy, wasn't it? Now, I'm not being funny. Look how gorgeous this is. If only this was the film we got. But I don't mind that it's not, because I do like the film. But look how gorgeous this is. Look, that never happens in the film. We don't get lava pits. But I love that bit with the rocket up the top there. Making me think of Dan Dare. Wish they brought Dan Dare back. Anyway, let's not talk about Dan Dare, Steve. In the book, we have the making of Hammer's first full step into science fiction. We have a look at the social, sexual, and political attitudes informing Spaceways. We have the history of Hammer's radio to screen adaptations, and that is really interesting. An examination of Terence Fisher's work as a director of science fiction, which is also called Because He Did Not Like Science Fiction. Spaceways and its place in the world of science fiction noir. A deep dive into the links between Howard Duff, the Lupino family and exclusive films, and a look at the life and work of Spaceways author Charles Eric Maine, and a visit to the set of Spaceways. And there's the posters and lobby card material that you saw as well. I do love the artwork on these books. They are so scrummy. But honestly, if you get any of these sets, do have a look in these books, because they are brilliant. They go into so much in depth. And look at the documentaries. If you're not going for all that stuff, it's not really worth getting these sets. Apart from the fact that they look fucking amazing on the shelf. So she's again, I'm in love with her. I fall in love with each one, if I'm being honest. And then I have to go into their background. I have to go down deep dives, which I do with all of these, which is what I really love. But we'll be going into that properly when we do the year by year Hammer thing. So anyway, that's the book. Look at that. Oh, I love it. Oh, and there's his wife on the top left there. I didn't speak much about her. There's a reason for that. I want you to watch the film. And so overall, I love this set. I think the film itself may not be for everyone, though it is a big stepping stone towards films like Quatermass. It looks unsurprisingly gorgeous in the new restoration. The box set itself, you can see, is an absolute thing of beauty. If you are a collector of the new Hammer range, then I assume you pre-ordered this bitch the moment it came up. Even if the film itself isn't high on your list, I would argue the extras alone and the box are enough to warrant the purchase, and the book. There are great talking head pieces and reflections on the differences between US and UK sci-fi. There's also a great piece on radio to TV, which was an early stable of Hammer exclusive for the big hits. So many cool things came out of that. I think this is a hugely important film in both British sci-fi and Hammer going forward from this point, and I'm very glad that they have chosen to release this, though I will always hope for Cloudburst, which was originally released the year before in 1952, just before Whispering Smith hits London, and as they seem to be lingering around this decade, there is still a chance we will get that beautiful movie. I hope so anyway. So, Spaceways, what do you think? Were you thinking of picking this beastie up? Yes or no? I always like to hear your thoughts. Next up in Hammer, I have a Hammer Thoughts video updating you guys on all the new releases coming, as there are quite a few more since the last time we spoke, and some great news on future book releases. So please join me for that. And never forget, my friends, to keep on keeping on.